So the other day, Kelly Loeffler had actually got into a fight with AOC. Now it appears that she's getting into a back and forth with Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is kind of the person that the right wing likes to demonize a lot because she's sort of a vulnerable target, given that she is, both black, she's Somali, she's a refugee, and she's Muslim. So it's a really easy attack, basically, because she's vulnerable. And so they get to do their racist dog whistles, and they get to make her out to be this sort of demonized figure. Luckily, Trump failed in Minnesota pretty epically. He failed really hard in Minnesota, actually. So, it's definitely not a good look, especially when Trump was saying that, Ilhan Omar is sort of our secret weapon or whatever, our way to win Minnesota. That failed epically. But Kelly Loeffler, if you don't know, she's running for senator in Georgia. I don't know how she's not in prison, by the way, because she was doing insider trading where she was selling off stocks based on congressional meetings that she had, which is completely illegal. So I don't know how she's not in prison. Apparently, there's even more crimes that exist for her personal spending. So, again, like I just told you, they try to demonize Ilhan Omar. So she sent out a tweet saying, "It's no wonder the squad fully supports Warnock. He totally supports their dangerous and extreme agenda. And Ilhan Omar completely agrees with his disgraceful comments about our active service members, veterans, and their families." This is hilarious on multiple grounds, right? First of all, they try to use the squad as this low-hanging fruit where they all just try to demonize them. It failed epically in this election, which Ilhan's going to point out. But they've also tried to do the demonizing thing when it came to service members in the military. It was really embarrassing and actually really disgusting. But the person that they support so much and idolize is Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has shat on the military pretty much his entire life, but he really seemed to ramp it up during his presidency, calling them suckers and losers and all this other stuff, He also blamed them for Hope Hicks getting coronavirus. But Ilhan Omar coming with the smackdown, saying blatant lies from the disastrous insider trading, QAnon conspiracy supporting, fear-mongering appointed Kelly. Pro tip, to win an election, you run on ideas, debate your actual opponent, and defend your record, not run against the squad. Ask Trump, he fucked around and found out. That's a pretty big smackdown right there, pointing out all of the flaws of Kelly. Also, kind of pointing out that, Kelly Loeffler was not elected to anything. She was appointed to a seat in a runoff in a special election. So she was appointed to her seat. She hasn't actually won anything yet. And she's running in this election, obviously, as she is an insider trader. And so she's pointing out that a lot of these people, a lot of these Republicans, they just like they'll be running these races, and then just all of a sudden they'll just start shitting on the squad as if that's something that's going to win you an election. And she's pointing that out, and she says, Trump fucked around and found out, right? Failed in Minnesota, failed in New York, failed in all these areas, Michigan where Rashida Tlaib is, failed everywhere where, they tried to attack the squad. For a while, it was even thought that Minnesota might actually be the swing state that ends up going for Trump. Wasn't even close. So that was a hilarious failure. So coming real with the smackdown. Now, crazy lady Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's actually completely insane. They might have to end up expelling her from Congress, actually. She's elected. She's going to win her race. I think it's in Georgia. I guess Georgia's 14th. We talked about her. She's the QAnon lady. She's a complete lunatic. She responded saying, "Back down, Ilhan Omar. You married your brother, so you're disqualified from running your mouth." So a QAnon conspiracy theorist spreading another, crazy, kooky conspiracy theory. Ilhan Omar says, "Looks like the crazy lady has logged on. I know things might be different where you come from, but you have to get off the loony train now that you are in Congress." It's also interesting that somebody from the Deep South would be calling someone else out for supposedly marrying their brother, considering what we know goes down in the Deep South, obviously. So it's a little bit interesting to go after that. Kelly Loeffler tried responding, saying, "Ilhan, we saw the video of you smiling and laughing while talking about Al-Qaeda and 9/11. That's totally false, by the way. We know you funneled millions of dollars to your new husband's consulting firm. Also false. And we know that you're an unabashed anti-Semite. Also really, really false. You should be expelled from Congress." So these kinds of smears really piss me off because they really put Ilhan Omar's life in danger because they basically paint her as this anti-American person. And she already had death threats from this guy that called into her office saying that he was going to put a bullet into her head. So this is what you call stochastic terrorism. And so basically you demonize someone so much that basically there's going to be some person out there, some random person out there who you're essentially motivating to go out and, carry out a terroristic act. So that's what they've been doing for years now. Captain Crenshaw did it. Donald Trump obviously did it. It's actually really scary. But again, Ilhan Omar's in a really vulnerable position, and so that's kind of what it comes down to, is they just like to attack her because she's in a really vulnerable position. But Ilhan Omar obviously not backing down. She says, sorry, Kelly, if you need help writing real clapback, I am here to help. This ain't it. Try harder. So Ilhan Omar out here fending off crazy Republicans pretty much all day long.